Hi class, my name is Lisa. This is my interpersonal collage, The Roller Coaster, Elias's Ride. Elias is my oldest. He's 9 years old. He is one of the two most important people in my life. Elias and Antonia are my kids, my world, my everything. I show up for them. They show up for me. It's different, you know. We are a very close family. It's just us three, me and my two boys, raising them as best as I can. Elias is 9, like I said. He has Williams syndrome. He was diagnosed at birth. I had no idea that he had Williams syndrome as he was growing in my stomach. My last appointment was actually just a follow-up appointment to check up on baby boy. Maybe a week after this photo. And man, that's when the journey began. I was sent to UCSD. I was induced, all because they found some abnormalities in his heart. Like I said, I was in labor for 3 days, so they induced me on December the 19th. I had him on December the 21st, and it was the most happiest moment of my life. I had an emergency section, so I mean, that was a little downfall, but I had him. I heard him crying. I was able to at least kiss him on the cheek. I wasn't able to hold him or anything, but that happiness turned to pain when they transferred him to the NICU and then to Rady's Children's Hospital while I was still at UCSD. Whew, that was difficult, but you know, my family was positive and, you know, was reassuring me everything was okay. It was really hard though. It was a hard moment. I was getting phone calls that they were doing testing on Elias and he might not make it. So I kind of pushed myself out of that hospital. Actually, in that picture down there, he was 4 days old, and it was the first time I was able to hold him and kiss him, and it was the most amazing feeling. So that's why I say this experience was mixed with joy and pain just based off that weekend that I had him. About 2 months later, we had a follow-up appointment. They actually scheduled him at the end of February, but I pushed it to the beginning because I was noticing some symptoms that were abnormal, which is a good thing. Follow your gut. Moms, always follow your gut in every situation, especially with your kids, if you have kids, classmates. But yes, he had his first surgery, his open heart surgery there. Everything was fine. We were there for about a month. He was discharged. When he was discharged in March 2015, he went through so many obstacles through that time. He had like 6 or 7 stents placed into his heart where they were supposed to help the blood flow get to the organs needed. But unfortunately, it did the opposite and it made things worse. On May the 11th was one of the worst days of my life, I would say. He went in for his last procedure, and unfortunately it was unsuccessful. It was not a successful procedure. The doctors actually let me know that he might not wake up from the procedure, so I had to call my family, friends to say their goodbyes. They told me if he did wake up, then I should just take him home and wait for him to have a heart attack. Whew. I was not okay with that. He would sleep right next to me when they're giving me this information, and Elias feeds off of me, my emotion, my fear, my pain. If I'm scared, he feeds off of that. So I had no emotion. I was just listening like, okay. And then I stepped outside. I said, give me a minute. I stepped outside the hospital doors and I yelled, I screamed, I cried. I let all those emotions out. Came back into the room and I said, okay, how are we gonna fix this? I know you gave me that option, but can we look for second opinions? What can we do? So I started my research on Williams syndrome. I was new to it. I've never had a kid with Williams syndrome. I've never heard of Williams syndrome. So I did my research. I found Dr. Hanley, who is a Williams syndrome expert, I would say. He saved Elias's life. He reconstructed his pulmonary artery. He was the man. Those are just a couple pictures of just waiting for this surgery. We made it to Stanford on July 31st, 2017. We were actually discharged October 11th, 2017. So almost 3 months we were in that hospital. His surgery day was actually on August the 4th. It was supposed to be a 6 to 12 hour surgery. It ended up being 23 hours long. 23 hours long. Imagine that. I think the worst part about that is that the nurses had me sitting with no updates. I didn't get any updates. I'm just sitting there going crazy, giving them dirty looks. My body language showed them. I would stare at them until they felt me staring at them, like, you know, like I need to know something. Until I realized maybe they don't know why I'm there. Maybe it's a new shift, maybe something. So I got up, I communicated, I got updates. It was a very complicated surgery. He actually came out not being able to breathe on his own due to one of the stents sitting on his lungs. It was that journey, man. Those 3 months was definitely a roller coaster like this. But he made it. He actually made it out. We had to trach him. He had to breathe through his trachea. And the only downfall about that is that you need 2 parents to take care of a kid with a trach. And I am a single mom, as I said, and I had to actually admit him into the Bernardi Center at Rady's. We're closer to home, so, you know, it was a little more doable and manageable. I was there day and night, every single day. I put him to sleep. I woke him up, took him a shower, went to work. Same routine. Pregnant, all that. The best part of this program is he achieved a lot of his goals here. He learned how to walk. He started eating a lot more different foods. He was in a wedding. He turned 2 years old. We had baby brother Antonio. And when I say he wasn't feeling it, he was not feeling it. He'd be like, who is this kid, mom, and when is he going back? No lie, every single time. But now they're amazing. They're best friends. They push each other. Antonio helps him all the time, and I am so grateful for that. Like, Antonio understands that Elias is going through all this, and he is actually motivating Elias to do better. This is his 3rd heart surgery in October, so we went from 2018 to 2021 with no heart surgeries, but in between he had 2 back surgeries. He made that heart surgery look like nothing. We were gone in a week. We were used to being there for, the last time, 3 months. We were there in a week, in and out, successful, amazing. You know, this kid, he's resilient. He is definitely resilient. These are just a few pictures of how happy he is. This is him at the bottom in the wheelchair just saying, I'm okay, you know. He reassures us that he's okay. This is him graduating, New Year's, his brothers. He has another brother, Romeo, from his dad's side. It's just, he has so many things, and I believe all these things collectively help him and push him to do better. And he's his favorite is the hearts. If you meet him, hearts. Home is where my kids are. I live here in San Diego, but my home is wherever my kids are. That's my home, that's my peace, that's my safety, is my kids. I didn't grow up like that. My upbringing was hard in other reasons. I didn't feel that nurture, I didn't feel that love, but I knew that I was loved. I just didn't feel it. My dad did not know how to show it. So I grew up knowing that he loved me, but he never showed it. Even till this day, it's hard for him to say he loves us. But we know he does. So me, I am so nurturing to my kids. I push loving. I swear I tell them I love them like 10 times a day. Hugs, kisses, reassurance, anything you can think of. I install that in them. Communication. Like the professor said, if they ask why, you need to explain it. And that really hit me when he said that, because it's true. You need to explain what's going on for them to understand and be able to vocalize what's going on. And I installed that in him. Being disabled, I'm glad that he's able to tell me what's going on and who's bothering him and whatnot. My deepest fears is losing my kids or me dying before my kids, knowing that I am all they have. They would have no one to lean on, no one to motivate them. So that is my deepest fear. So I hope that you enjoyed my roller coaster ride. It's sad, but nothing but happiness from here on out. It's a roller coaster, but we got this. Thank you.